I don't know when middle life starts or when it finishes, and nobody probably does. I think for me, probably when I was turning around 50, which was an undisclosed amount of time ago. And it lasted for quite a bit of time. And it's that sort of, for me, that time of unsettling and shifting and sort of seismic and subtle pullings and tuggings and questionings about what's been going on in the basement of my soul. And in the quietness of the empty nesting, which additionally added shaking and light to places that perhaps hadn't been paid attention to for quite a while. These sort of all collided for me, and maybe for lots of people. But I don't know when the hell this thing ends, but it's feeling like a season has closed, and whatever they call the next thing after, maybe we'll call it the third chapter, seems to be happening. But I stumbled upon a writing that I wrote that's sort of the beginnings of unsettling that maybe will feel familiar to some others. So here we go. This ain't short, and I don't have a page turner. It's called 50 Questions. I've been visiting the favorite ones in my life over the past weeks and feeling like a stranger in the corner of my mind. To them and to myself, unsettled waves roll without control, rearranging the furniture that is me, or was me. What is true? Who am I? Who are we? Who are you? Why these questions? Why now? Why so deep? The unintentional and also seeming unkind fractures felt by my nearest ones from me. It's not fair to them, but it is real. It's inescapable and haunting with expectation. And in my soul's womb, I cannot unknow or unfeel this pregnancy of change. Me is not needed in ways of my many previous days. Days of years of being a me I was needed to be, and a me that I wanted to be. Days of moments true with you and you and you. As father, mentor, fellow adventurer, and friend. But now I know that there are ways that me must end. Not die, not leave, not fail to be a present and mutual life sharer, but there are doors in me, about me, that will no longer be knocked on by these ones. There are other doors and rooms for them to find the space and the safety and the misadventure of life in. And that's okay. That is right, it's good, as it should be. Nonetheless, it is a death of sorts to this man, who could not plan for days like these, even though I knew they were coming the whole time. I knew. I kept knowing. But who could really know? I couldn't know. Who can imagine and plan for seismic motion of the soul, which involves shifting away from its own bone of bone and flesh of flesh? My image, which I see in these ones, the pieces of me which breathe in their subtle hand motions, or laughter, or wondrous mind travels. Well, this is what I have now. Pieces of me, myself, in them. My memories of creating with them and watching them now create for themselves. And it should be enough, but it doesn't feel like enough. The stories I told, the wounds I dressed, the little hands I washed, and the eyes I made widen with anticipation. the anticipation of being chased through our humble abode, to be tickled breathless and tossed about, the trusting hearts and the needing faces with stickiness all over them, whether to tie a shoe or to lift a saddened gaze. These were the stuff of my days, the best parts of my days, the parts I rushed home for, the parts I left work undone for, the parts I never felt equal to the task for. But I threw myself in with all of my foolishness and the little bits of truth in my hungry heart. My hungry heart. My hungry heart. That's it, isn't it? I mean, who really needed who more? And who helped who more, really? And who needs to not rest the weight of the change of these days of mine on these little big ones who are now finding their own ways? Who? Well, me. It's not their burden, but it is a burden. It was never their role to direct my soul, but along the way I stole, and I stole bits of joy and wonder which no one should ever leave behind, and I'd do it all over again. I didn't do it to get the bits that I stole. I didn't fall full forward into fathering for what I stole. I did it because I could not do it. I was made for it. It was made for me. It was me. It was the best of me. And perhaps that's why Daddy's head is now spinning in ways which disorient my decades-long deeply settled soul. What am I made for now? What is made for me? And where shall my best be bettered? And find its smile. What other reasons should I ponder for these shiftings within, for this new distastefulness for some things, for unexpected vacancy, which is calling for a new sky to reveal its canvas where I can view my sunsets and waves up against, to carve myself a way where trust is tame and deep and constant, while honoring the wildness that wants to live in this changing man. This is the tension on my chest in these hours now. There are some things that must be shed to lighten the soul, to build its larger wings. And then there are some things which should never be shed, or flight will lose its wonder. I am as unsure of how to navigate these days as unsure as I was when I began to be a father. And I wonder if I'll find my way in the same way I found out how to be a father. You know, it called to me deeply and daily. And then I showed up. And the magic began, and there were times when I could not hear the invitations because of the noise of the mundane and of the urgent. But then, once in a while, I sat, I stopped, I cried, I listened, and I walked, and the magic began again. I did this in order to become what I eventually was, a father in spirit. Wholeheartedly. Not just someone who fathered a child, but someone who then became a father to a child. And so I guess I'll just reach toward the magic in the same way, but different. I met a new scene in this play, and my character has gone through comedy and tragedy, and his words, his stories, and the gait of his walk. It's all new. I am him and I am not. I'm becoming and I'm becoming undone. I'm leaving and I'm clinging all at once. And so I think I'm going to sit. I'll stop. I'll cry and I'll listen. And then I'll walk toward the invitation that forever beckons through the chatter and the mundane and the urgent. I'll find the new rooms which my soul has silently prepared for these days. Rooms for me to breathe in, to feel the air which will lift my new wings. Rooms for others to knock upon the doors of. And these will be the new people. to tell the stories to each other with, to dress our tired wounds for each other, to keep our hands clean from lesser gods, and to make each other's eyes widen with anticipation. The anticipation of the adventure of these days in the humble abode of our aging bodies, and to be tickled breathless and tossed about by life with each other. I will find the magic. I must find the magic. Again, I owe it to myself, to this life, to my lover, to my loved ones, and to this new circle of friends I've been given. The magic is near, The magic is here. Those are my little, not so little thoughts. Hope that helps somebody. Thanks for listening.